Welcome to the Killshot MMA podcast from DFS Army. It's UFC Fight Night, Kape versus Almabayev. I'm Sniper. Monk with me is always going to break down all 12 fights on this card with a DraftKings emphasis in mind. Probably throw out some bets in there, mix it up, have a little bit of fun. Honestly, from my perspective, we were running hot. Last week was a big old turd burger. So got to go ahead and recorrect here. And honestly, Monk, I don't know about you. Actually, I do know because I glanced. I'm either going to get back on track or have another awful week because in my opinion, and I know you don't agree, it is raining underdogs this week. So we got some shit to talk about.
That's true. Although, spoiler, I was looking for kill shots this week, and I was like, oh my God, it's going to be another shot in the dark, like Milky Costa by sub, like last week. Maybe I'll get lucky.
See, I have so many. I have the opposite. I'm spoiled for choice. And on top of that, I'm not on, that's not including the most popular dog of the card, which somehow is Cody Brundage.
Well, I mean,
he is, everyone is talking this up. We're going to get there. We will break it down. We'll trash Cody Brundage a little, break down the fight. But that's not even one of the dogs I'm picking. So tons to go through. Hit the like button wherever you are watching or listening. Go to YouTube, share with your friends. Click the link down below. Join us in DFS Army. Get more breakdowns, tools, all the good shit there. Monk, we got 12 fights. You ready to get to it?
Let's do it. 1 week before 313. I hope they had a couple fights. So let's enjoy this week. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, after, so wait, 313 is what, the
8th?
8th. Is there a week off the week after?
Maybe. I haven't looked that far ahead.
I'm on vacation for 313. I'm going to be not here, but I'll be able to do the podcast. But I'll be on a boat Friday, and fuck you guys.
Well, so as of now, there's 10 fights, and a bunch of them aren't good.
I'll have a good time. You know what? Let's focus on this card. Let's start bottom to the top, because honestly, there are some fights in the undercard that should be the co-main event, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Charles Johnson, Ramazan Temerov. Johnson opened the favorite. It is now a pick'em between Johnson Temerov minus 110 apiece. DraftKings salaries, interestingly enough, Temerov on some books opened as the favorite. So it's weird. Some books Johnson opened as the favorite, some Temerov did, and rightfully so. We're looking at a pick'em now. Temerov is 8,400 on DK. Charles Johnson is 7,800. Monk, I'm going to punt this one to you because of all 12 fights on this card, this is the one I'm actually the most wishy-washy about. Really don't really have a strong take either way. So we'll start with you so I can vanilla it up after.
There we go. That's a bold strategy, Cotton, as they say. But yeah, this is going to be another big dog spot. Obviously, the one you were talking about was Cody Brundage. I think Charles Johnson is also going to be a very, very high-owned underdog, and rightfully so. 4-fight win streak. Beats Joshua Van in the third round, and we all know Joshua Van turns it up in the second and especially the third. Yeah, so that is impressive. He's got a decent overall skill set. And his strength of schedule isn't terrible. I mean, Hadley and Sumajarji, but he also beat Maxim. And like I said, Joshua Van Temerov. I picked Temerov personally, but I know and understand why a lot of people would be on Charles Johnson. He has one UFC fight against the track star, CJ Vergara. Less than 3 minutes of stats. He seems to only punch, and he does tend to get extremely wild. So I think he has a chance for good GPP chance in early in the fight. And then Charles Johnson, obviously, I think can probably turn it up and in the second and third round and maybe get a greasy decision. So Temerov good for GPPs, Charles Johnson probably good in other formats, and I think this is a close fight.
I definitely agree it's a close fight. I think Temerov actually has a little bit more scoring upside here. I think if he wins, he is more likely to get a finish. He's more likely to use the wrestling if that is a path for him. By the way, this fight goes to decision. I didn't mention that. Minus 170. And to me, that just indicates that Charles Johnson doesn't have a whole lot of upside here for DFS, where I think there are some slam it all in type of lineup fights. I'm slightly lean towards Temerov for the pick, and I even another notch above that think he's a better option for DFS in terms of upside. So I'll be on Temerov mostly. I think that little bit of wrestling is kind of what separates them, but it's really close, and it's not a confident pick, but I'm more confident in that DraftKings upside that it lies on the Temerov side.
I like that. I'm glad we're on the same side there. I wasn't sure.
That don't worry, there are some spots coming where we are not on the same side, sir. Lucas Almeida, Danny Silva. Danny Silva minus 220. Comeback on Almeida is plus 185. Your fight does not go to decision, which I was a little surprised about. This is minus 155. So Vegas favoring a finish, which again, I was a little surprised by, but I'll take it because Silva's 8,600. Almeida is 7,600. I think we got some scoring upside on paper here on Danny Silva. Should be able to wrestle against Lucas Almeida. He can do it. Almeida's takedown defense numbers show there is a hole there. So does the tape when you watch it. Almeida's a live dog, but again, I think I'd be more interested in Almeida because if he wins, probably by knockout, which is, I guess, why that number is minus 155 because Danny Silva is pretty active on the ground, can find submissions. I think that we have sneaky upside here on Danny Silva with that wrestling. And I think I'd be more apt to play more Almeida if there weren't as many dogs I do like. Like I'm gonna pick 3 in a row in the low 7,000s coming up. So it's about to get fucking weird in here. So because of that, I'll be down on Almeida, whereas other weeks I'd be like, yeah, he's live. But for me, Danny Silva is interesting. I think he's actually live in cash games, which is a rare thing for this card for me. How about for you, Monk?
Yeah, I'm on the Silva side for sure. I love the price tag on both sides of this one, actually, 86 and 76. You nailed it. I mean, that's exactly what I wrote in my breakdown. I mean, Silva landed 4 of 9 against Culibao, and Lucas Almeida was taken down by Pat Sabatini and by Timmy, don't call me Timothy Kwamba, a total of 4 times, it looks like. He lost the Pat Sabatini fight, and the Kwamba fight was extremely close. So you're right, definitely holes in the wrestling game. However, if this does get extended, which I think we said it was minus 155 ITD, 180, something like that. Lucas Almeida turns it the fuck up as far as striking goes. He starts off very slow, 2.86 strikes in the first round per minute, and then round 2, 5.42, basically doubling his output, and round 3 is even more, 6.76. So that said, Silva, with only 9 professional fights total, under that magic number of 10 that I at least like to look for as a minimum, is still a bit shaky. So if we don't find it early, or if he can't get his wrestling going later on in the fight, I would look for Almeida maybe to turn up the striking a little bit and get a greasy little split decision, or possibly, I don't think a finish, but split decision. So I think he is worth, he's a lower risk kind of underdog, Lucas Almeida, but I kind of agree with you. There might be some more interesting players a little bit cheaper than him, and I prefer Silva and his upside.
All right, let's click over. Let's see if we can get one of the dogs that I like. Let's see. That's the mid-range fight, so yes, but barely. Luana, so it'll get more exciting, though. Luana Carolina and Montana De La Rosa. Carolina, I'm surprised by this line, quite frankly. I'll be honest. I have a bet on Montana De La Rosa. I don't get this. This line should be flipped. Not that De La Rosa should be minus 200. I think this line should be flipped, but in my opinion. Carolina's minus 145. De La Rosa is plus 125. Your fight ends inside the distance. Actually, sorry, fight goes to decision, minus 400. And your DraftKings salaries, Carolina is 8,300. De La Rosa is 7,900. Monk, you get this one first.
Yeah, we have no 8,000 salary this week, which I do find interesting, but our highest salary is 94, so I guess it balances out. This one's interesting from DraftKings, but it's also interesting from a betting perspective. Carolina has only been a favorite one time in her entire UFC career. I think it was her last fight, against Lucy Pudilova, and she did win that fight. Meanwhile, Montana De La Rosa, an abysmal 1-4 as a dog in the UFC. So not great, but I'm with you. I'm still picking Montana De La Rosa, mostly for her wrestling and grappling upside. Luana Carolina should be the better striker overall, obviously, but if Montana can get her wrestling going, Carolina definitely has that as a whole. Also, when Carolina loses, she allows an average of 103 points, and she once gave up 109. So De La Rosa is also a much better DFS scorer when she wins, averaging 93 points compared to just 80 when Luana Carolina wins. So I think she had one fight where she went super crazy on points, and literally that is it. So we're not looking for too much output from Carolina here. I like the decision, Montana by decision, 29-28, and I think her DFS upside is better, and she's cheaper. So give me Montana De La Rosa here.
What's her strength to schedule number on your thing? Because it's got to be fucking high.
It's average. I mean, it's way better than Carolina's.
It should be high because I mean, look, I guess Andrea Lee
has a bunch of losses. I mean, she did fight Suarez.
I have this pulled up. We got Andrea Lee, who we're going to talk about in a minute. JJ Aldrich. The JJ Aldrich loss is not a good loss. But then you got Tatiana Suarez, Macy Barber, Mayra Bueno Silva, Viviana Araujo. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah,
that's not that Montana De La Rosa is going to be top 10, but she's a serviceable. She's a UFC professional. Like, she belongs in the dance. And the schedule is rough.
I mean, Carolina, that three's Pudilova, Stoliarenko, and Petrovic. Like, what are we doing? Molly McCann, Botello, Choera.
Taken down by McCann twice, taken down by Stoliarenko, taken down by Pudilova. I get De La Rosa is a jiu-jitsu player. So
she's actually been taken down in every fight since
you get taken down. I think it's the problem. So De La Rosa, for the reasons you mentioned, that's why I'm picking her. I think she's faced better competition. The path is there with takedowns. That is her strength in terms of the control and jiu-jitsu. The struggle is she's not a great wrestler, has not struggled getting fights to the ground, but I think she'll be able to against Luana Carolina. The only place you play Carolina, and we don't talk about it much on this podcast because I don't love their DFS product, is FanDuel. And that's if I have to look at it. I haven't played FanDuel in a while. FanDuel used to score takedowns defended. If that's thing, if that's a thing and you like Carolina, go ahead and play her because she's going to defend 11 takedowns.
Price Picks on fantasy scoring does that as well. Takedown defended.
The problem is I don't think she can defend him. So I'm on De La Rosa. That's where I'm going for DraftKings. I'll be overweight. Not thrilled about it, but I'm going to go. So I bet Montana De La Rosa. I got, I think I got it at like plus 120-ish. I got a DraftKings. Yeah, so around this plus 120 number. I have an early bet out on her. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. And let's talk about the aforementioned Andrea Lee and JJ Aldrich. Both appear on the resume on Montana De La Rosa. And I get to talk about an upset. I have to talk about somebody who is a Nazi lover, which is just...
Somebody will be upset after this fight, that's for sure.
No, everyone's always
either way.
Oh, I'm going to get canceled for even saying the N-word, the other N-word.
Your fault that she likes that. That has nothing to do with you.
Aldrich minus 210. Lee plus 180. Fight goes to decision, I assume. Yeah, is minus 500. So that right there tells you the only person you should even consider is the underdog. Andrea Lee is that at, where's the price tag here? Not Austin Lane. Fuck you, Austin Lane. 7,500. And JJ Aldrich is 87. And I got news for you. Well, this is an upset. I'm picking. It's not one of the 3 in a row, the very cheap end. This is not included here. So this is fucking wild. They're gonna go 0-4. I'm gonna get hate comments on this YouTube, and go ahead and do that because you'll drive up my engagement. So thanks. That being said, it's my go-to line, I know. So Andrea Lee has, let's pull up her resume here because it's worth noting. It's worth doing a little wiki capping here. Andrea Lee's lost 5 straight. There's a couple of rough ass decisions in here, like where she probably won the fight. Like I remember I bet Montana De La Rosa, but I remember thinking, man, I think I got away with one.
Yeah, that was super close. Those were closest ones.
If I remember right. And you got, so De La Rosa, probably bad one. Miranda Maverick, Natalia Silva, Macy Barber, Vivi Araujo. Fuck, that's a rough couple 3 years.
Rough.
And Calvillo got old quick, but a couple. The only bad loss in here is Roxanne Modafferi, really. Like
Joanne Wood, Lauren Murphy. Yeah.
So it's and she can do it all. She's a good striker. She's got good knees in the clinch. Has landed some takedowns to show him better takedown. I mean, she took down Miranda Maverick twice, who's a really strong wrestler. So you put that in the fact, and I get JJ Aldrich's got 66% takedown defense. Just lost to Veronica Hardy. Like, am I really scared of JJ Aldrich? Not really. I think that on the feet, it's super close, and I like the Muay Thai style of Lee in this fight, and she's got the grappling upside, and she's the only one DraftKings salary you should even consider fucking playing. All signs to me point to Andrea Lee. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I agree. Well, for the most part, I agree. She's the only one even worth considering, but I couldn't pull the trigger on the pick. I mean, the 5 in a row, and as I'm looking, it's literally she's 2 of 8 in her last 10. It's real fucking bad. Obviously, we talked about some of the close ones and who she's fought, but still, name me another fighter in the UFC roster that's had 2 and 8 in their last 10. I don't even know if that's ever happened. Anyways, Aldrich
Can I take out DQs and call and say Cody Brundage?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, take out the DQs. His ultimate move, his fatality, is turning the back of his head to his opponent.
Can you imagine if Marquez gets disqualified?
Oh my god! I mean, Dana might just like fire this dude on the spot. He would have to. You would think. Unless Herzog's in there, then he might just make up some rules, and we end up going to some like.
Yeah, I didn't. And Herzog's a great ref. I did not like how he handled Saturday.
I just told my friend that, oh, this guy's a great ref, and then he literally, and she goes, I thought he was a great ref. I was like, I know.
I get what you're doing, but that's you can't artificially. If the fight's over, the fight's over. He made the decision. I'm going to artificially get this to the end of the.
Yeah, that was weird. But even though Cejudo's still fucked up, because the rules say if it completes the third, right, then it's a technical because it's halfway over. I think. I don't think
weird. It was all screwy. And honestly,
he should have said he was good to go. What the fuck was he doing?
Yeah, he should have stopped. He thought it would come back. I don't know.
It's bad fight IQ from everybody involved.
Weird situation. And Herzog should have taken a point.
And Herzog should have taken a fucking point.
You know what actually drove me the craziest? That whole thing. I don't think anybody's talked about it yet. And sorry, guys, we're derailing a little bit. When Cejudo's dancing around for the last 30 seconds, and Song is like stalking him. Did you notice Song's fingers were still fucking like this? Yes. Again, dude, I was like, what?
No, he was back like this. This is crazy.
That was wild.
It's just so odd. Anyhow, I think in my write-up I compared JJ Aldrich to William Gomes, which won't make much sense now because we haven't gotten to William Gomes yet. But she is the female William Gomes. She does nothing as far as offense, and no one really scores on her either. She averages 73 points per win, which is 21% below the average women's flyweight score. In her last 6, she's only cleared 83 times and gone over 90 only once. And if you take out an Ali Yang fight, her average drops to below 70. So 8,700 is crazy. Once she was even priced at 9,400 and lost. So just keep that in mind. Give me Andrea Lee, but I have zero confidence that she can get her 3rd win in 10 fights. She likely gets retired after this, I assume, or cut, one of the two. But I agree with Sniper. Lee's never been finished. Also, she's a good loser, as like I said last week. I don't mean that badly, but when she loses, she puts up an okay score. So actually the 80th percentile across all fighters as far as losing scores for DraftKings. So at 7,500, it's not really ideal. You like it at 72, but we could take it here. Don't mind her in any format. And do not play JJ Aldrich. Just don't. Even if she scores 110 this time, like, oops, my bad. Don't play her.
Oops. Sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it.
She gives Andrea Lee her first finish and scores 100 for the first time. That's go get a lotto ticket.
Oh God. All right. Let's move on to Douglas Silva de Andrade and John Castaneda. Castaneda's minus 275. Douglas Silva de Andrade plus 235. Fight goes to decision is minus 250. Your DraftKings salaries. Castaneda is 8,900. Douglas Silva de Andrade is 7,300. Monk, who you got?
Another one I'm kind of looking to fade overall as a whole. I'm picking Castaneda. I like to watch Douglas Silva de Andrade fight, but let's be honest, his average of 65, huh?
You like to watch him fight?
Fight? Douglas Silva de Andrade. Is that
yeah, it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't really do much like, okay.
That's okay. He's fun. I like, he looked super creepy with his shaved head last time. Now, all bald guys don't look like that. Don't get it twisted. Dude, he scores 65.4 points per decision win, and that's what I think is going to happen here. Not that he's going to win, but it's going to go to decision. So I'm really not looking forward to that. That's 20% below the bantamweight average in decision wins. And Castaneda scoring is also very underwhelming. Once again, much like whoever we just talked about, Andrea Lee, a good loser, but otherwise does not score well at all. He's got very good striking offense for the most part. But he just doesn't do much with it. It's kind of like Izzy in his prime. Like, he can be the best striker in the world, but if you're not landing knockdowns and you're not getting finishes, you are not scoring well. And at what is his salary? I know you said it. No, 8,900 is wild for him. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan at all. I know he scores okay in 3-round wins. Did I just contradict myself? 95. Oh no, in decision wins, yeah, he does not score very well at all. So give me Castaneda, kind of GPP fade for him, and pretty much a total fade. Maybe a GPP fade for Andrade as well. I just think this ends 3 rounds, 70 points, nothing special.
Nothing special, he says. I tend to agree. I'll be underweight. Will this be one of those 3 straight dog picks? No, I can't pull the trigger on Douglas Silva, Andrade. They're both pretty serviceable. Sound defensively. I think Castaneda is going to have more volume. He's the more likely to wrestle, although Silva Andrade is shown to be pretty good defensively. I just don't think his fight is going to score well. I lean towards Castaneda, but this is one I agree I will be underweight as well. 5 fights through, and I have not talked about any underdogs yet. Any of the 3 I've been teasing the whole time, right?
So this one.
Yeah. Ricardo Ramos, Chepe Mariscal. Mariscal minus 450. Ramos is plus 350. Your fight ends inside the distance is minus 190. DraftKings salaries. Chepe is the most expensive fighter on the card at 9,400. Ramos is 6,800, and he is not one of the 3 I've been referencing the whole time. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to go that crazy. I will say I think that the salaries are a little wide, but I think it's going to come down to the pressure of Chepe. Ramos has surprisingly been able to grapple in some spots where he didn't think he would be able to, and I don't think he's going to be able to hold down Chepe here. And I think that kind of just wearing pace of a fight, I think Chepe is better. I think he's obviously I've been hinting at it because there's a lot of high-priced 9Ks that I am not going to be very fond of. I think he becomes viable in cash games. I also think Ramos can get himself guillotined fucking again, like he always seems to do multiple times. So I like Chepe in this spot. Is he the most exciting $9,400 fighter in the world? No. Am I going to roster him? Yeah, and I'll be under 2 Ramos. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I agree. Chepe has made the optimal lineup in 3 of 4 fights. We love to see that. He scored 138 against Hairplugs Jackson, 104 against Jack Jenkins, and 108 against Trevor Peek. And Ricardo Ramos, not very reliable, I guess we could say. He's been, let's see, only 3 people have attempted takedowns on him in his past 10 fights, and no one since Zubaira Tukagov has attempted a takedown on him since 2021. Zubaira went 2 of 7. Lerone Murphy went 1 of 2, and he lost both of those fights. So the only people that have landed takedowns on Ramos and have attempted takedowns on Ramos and landed have beaten him in his past 10 fights. So I think Mariscal is going to do just that. He was 5 of 7 against Damon, 1 of 8 against Morgan, 1 of 1 against Jack, and 4 of 12 against Trevor. So we should see some wrestling here, but Chepe's tough. He rarely fades. Actually, never. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he does not fade as far as round by round. 4.5 strikes a minute, 4.8 and 5 in the second round. He's landing takedowns, landing control time throughout, and I don't think Ricardo Ramos has the fight IQ nor durability to really stand a chance here. 9,400 could be a steal, and I love Chepe in all formats. I'm fading Ramos. Outside of, I think, a random-ass spinning back elbow like he did against what's-his-name, Danny Chavez, I don't think he has a chance here.
All right, let's go Austin Lane, Mario Pinto. Pinto's minus 450. Austin Lane is plus 350, opening the main card with a fight that is minus 350 to end inside the distance. The big ol' heavyweights for you, Monk. Mario Pinto's 9,300. Lane is 6,900. Pinto is a guy who's made a big favorite. Believe he's 6-0, so under that 10 fight threshold. 26-year-old heavyweight. Monk, all signs point to an upset here, right?
Yeah, most would say that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to pick the guy that whooped Robellis to Spain's. And no, he'd bear 15 minutes with Robellis. I mean, the biggest fraud in the UFC heavyweight division. Lost to
wait. I know
Okay.
Rebellis is a fraud, but this division boasts names like Hamdi Abdel Wahab and Muhammad Usman and Jared Vandera.
Like, can you believe it?
Thank God. Like if you're not in like the top 7, and is Mick Parkin ranked yet? Mick Parkin's the best prospect, and he's good
by far.
Like, and I wouldn't say he would light the world on fire. Like
no.
God help us at heavyweight. Like, what's happening?
Exactly. And from the word on the street is Mario Pinto has, I don't know if he's Spanish. I don't know why I said it like that. We'll say Mario Pinto. I don't know.
I thought he was Portuguese.
Is he? Okay. Well, then it was a good choice, and I stand by.
I'm going to look. I could just be trying to bail you out here.
I could just scroll up. But supposedly
he's Portuguese fighting out of London, England.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was maybe right. We'll just go with it. Supposedly, the word on the street is this dude is extremely well-rounded. He's not just like a random heavyweight, big, fat power striker like we've seen so many times lately in the UFC. He actually has movement. He's got head movement. He's got takedowns. He's got control, and he's got power. So I'm very excited here. He dispatched Lucas Camacho in less than 2 minutes in the DWCS. Meanwhile, Austin Lane, yeah, I know. We kind of already went over what he has or hasn't done. I'm just very unimpressed. This is probably his last fight in the UFC, unless they're really, really hurting. Maybe they have put all their chips on Hamdi and then cut Austin Lane after this. But
they might make Lane Hamdi.
They might. Well, Hamdi probably.
If Hamdi wins that fight, he'll fight Austin. Like Austin
Lane. Win or loss, probably. But yeah, give me Pinto. Probably inside the distance. I think he's safe in all formats. I'd be very surprised if Austin Lane won. I just don't think he's a very good heavyweight. So 9,300, I'll take it.
Yeah, I was trying to set Monk up. I agree. I'm on Mario Pinto. The more I think about it, I because he is the kind of that slightly untrustworthy, rookie, young heavyweight, not a lot of fights, not a lot of age. I was a little worried, but Austin Lane is not going to be able to wrestle him. I don't think like he's, shown like he wants to do against some of the really dangerous strikers he's faced. I think Pinto is more athletic, more explosive, seems more well-rounded. He's just green. I don't think Austin Lane is that good to overcome it. He's a heavyweight, so I'll mix in a little for the reasons I mentioned. But I'll clearly a secondary option for me because I promise those 3 underdogs are coming just here in a second. I believe they are the next 3 fights. This is just this is a spot for Mario Pinto for me. All right, we're up to him, and I think actually, it's not even 3 in a row. God damn it!
I was gonna say you're going 3 in a row.
No, it's 3 in a row on DraftKings. Like in that low 7K range. The first one is up next though, so enough. And I think people are gonna fucking hate this one because people love Danny Barlow. And I know Monk, his nickname is cool, left hand to God. I get it. Danny Barlow is minus 285. Sam Patterson is plus 245. Fight ends inside the distance is minus 400. It is a good one to target for GPP. So a Danny Barlow knockout is not going to beat me, by the way. 9,200 for him, 7,000 for Sam Patterson. All right, let's dig in. Let's start with the wiki capping, as Monk loves, not Monk, as Geek loves to do upon his return. Danny Barlow, look, he was not good last time out against Nikolai Veretennikov, who was just got smoked by Austin Vanderford. So if you are all about the wiki capping, oh buddy, like he beat something called the Raheem Force and Contender Series. And then he knocked out Quinlan late, split decision against Veretennikov. Okay. That being said, he's not been taken down, but look who he's fought. I don't think Danny Barlow's got phenomenal takedown defense. I think it's good. Sam Patterson gets you down. He's a submission guy. The problem is, I do acknowledge he's got to stay conscious. He got knocked out violently by Yanal Ashmouz. And Danny Barlow, when he swings, can crack. Absolutely can crack. I think the price is too wide. I think there's a very clear path here for Sam Patterson. I think he's got the wrestling jiu-jitsu advantage. I think Danny Barlow, just based on results and eye test the last couple, is looking a little bit overrated. Maybe he's got to get comfortable in the UFC and it'll be a breakout performance here against Patterson. But I'm not going to guess that way. The way things are trending, I am trending towards the upset here at plus 245 and 7,000 on DraftKings. A guy who's going to want to grapple. Both guys have clear 110-point upside. The way I'm probably going to approach this, just to be clear, so I don't get fucking lit up, depending on how popular Danny Barlow is going to be. So I think regardless, I'm probably going to shoot for like 30 to 40% Danny Barlow. That's probably field weight. I'm probably in the field. I'm just also probably going to be 50 to 60% Sam Patterson. Like at this number, the stand I'm taking, a lot of fights we don't love. If this fight doesn't end in a fight, if we get Danny Barlow versus Veretennikov, I have not hit the nuts. I am in a lot of trouble. Bad things have happened for me. But I think this fight is going to end up on the optimal, and I'm going to play it that way. And I'm higher on the dog. Monk, please tell the people what they want to hear, what they're comfortable hearing about how the favorite's going to win.
Well, I did pick Danny Barlow, but I did say that, I mean, I rated both of these guys as 3 stars. And a 4-star fight as a whole. So I think you have to absolutely play both sides. I'm just on the other side with Danny Barlow to get it done early. But you're absolutely right. He looked like dog shit against Nikolai Veretennikov. 3 strikes a minute, 0 for 2 on takedown attempts, like a minute, like nothing. Just did nothing. A bunch of leg kicks. That's really what he did. In his 2 fights so far, no, he's not fighting wrestlers. But he has stuffed 3 takedown attempts, even if they're terrible. He has stuffed them. So we have that to go on so far. But he will be tested against Sam Patterson, who has the longest neck of any UFC fighter ever.
That dude could get guillotined. If Barlow by submission, even though he's like never done it, is
right. Exactly.
I can't even lie. Like, would it really surprise? I'd be like, yeah. What is Barlow by sub?
He does have 1 sub. I don't know what it was. Plus 18.
That's probably about right.
Yeah, for sure. That said, if guys that go for guillotines and don't get them often end up in terrible positions, and you don't want to be in a terrible position on your back against Sam Patterson. I think this is a great GPP fight. Definitely not touching it in cash. But my pick will be Barlow. Wouldn't be surprised if Patterson got it done. I'm not going to be as high as you as far as ownership, but I'll be significant.
Let's move on. Let's talk about William Gomes and Haider Amil.
Oh, I don't want to.
Yeah, well, you're up first. Gomes is minus 184. Amil is about plus 160. Fight goes to decision. Good old-fashioned minus 225. DraftKings salaries. Gomes is 8,800. Amil is 7,400. Monk, take it away.
Actually, I do want to talk about it because I love just shitting on fighters. William Gomes, while 4-0 in the UFC, while 4-0 in the UFC, is basically virtually untouchable in DraftKings. Look, he's in the 3rd percentile of all time for DraftKings scoring per win. 3rd percentile, 1 percentile in bonus points per win, and 6th percentile for average value per win. This guy doesn't score ever. 64, 69, 41 points against Fire Marshal Bill, and 79 against Jarno Aarons. So, yeah, Gomes, his thing is he's going to keep it standing probably. I mean, he does shoot takedowns occasionally, but he'd rather keep it standing and use his extraordinarily boring yet great defense to his advantage. That's how he wins fights. That's how he slows fights down, and that's how he never makes the optimal lineup ever. So I picked Gomes, a 55-point decision. And I'm not happy about it. I would like nothing more than to pay how much? $7,400 for the best DraftKings score on the entire card, but 18 strikes a minute versus a consistent, allowing of 1.5 strikes a minute. One of those things has to be reconciled, and it's probably going to be Haider Amil's strikes falling way, way, way down. So I'll play a little Haider, but it's going to be a Gomes 55-point decision, and that's it. I don't want any part of him. So a little bit of Amil, full fade on William Gomes.
Pretty much agree. I think Gomes is better. I just don't think he scores well. I'll sprinkle in a little Amil for the KO potential. If Gomes scores big, I had a bad day. There's nothing that is getting me to play William Gomes.
If Gomes scores and Aldridge scores 100 points each, it's not my week. That's it.
Yep. So it's one of those. I mean, if I'm playing 150 lineups, do I play 5% Gomes? Maybe, and that's like a maybe. I probably don't, but maybe. Same thing. And a Hyder Emil will be that 8 to 10% range.
Oh, God, I wish I could play more. I wish he wasn't fighting.
Well, I'm going to make cases for some of the dogs come up here in a hot minute. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward breakdown for me. All right. Can you believe, by the way, if you've done podcasts with me for a while now, right? Can you believe I'm about to talk up Nasrat Haqparast? So
pre-USADA, I would have called you crazy.
It's a little wild, right? Nasrat Haqparast, Esteban Ribovic. Haqparast is a big old dog at plus 235. Ribovic is minus 275. Ribovic is 9,100. Haqparast is 7,100. Your fight goes to decision is minus 190. I mean, again, this is a quality competition thing. Ribovic has beaten Daniel Zellhuber. Okay, great fight. Terrence McKinney, Kamala Kirk lost to Radzhabov because he couldn't stop a takedown, and his contender series fight. Whereas Haqparast, the Gordon, like these two guys, by the way, the striking numbers in a 3-round fight, this could be insane. Like there could be a lot of strikes thrown in this fight. But his losses are to King Green, Dan Hooker, Drew Dober, and a grappling Marcin Held. You're going to tell me that? I don't know. I need to see it from Ribovic. Not to mention it's a southpaw that Ribovic is facing here. In terms of striking volume, power, I lean slightly towards Haqparast, especially the USADA stuff you mentioned. It's a big number for me to get behind Ribovic anyway. Now, granted, they both throw a lot. Like 140 strikes in a 3-round decision is still 86 points. That's still at his price okay at best. That's a lot of strikes. 150 strikes. Yeah, it's like 90 points. So Haqparast, more power. He's also, by the way, he's mixed in grappling before in the in the John Makdessi fight. Ribovic, on the other hand, has got 61% takedown defense. Yeah, I went back and forth with Kamala Kirk. I don't know. I think Ribovic is being a little bit overvalued here, and these odds don't make sense to me. Pick'em would have made sense to me. It's an odds value type of play, and I do lean Haqparast anyway in terms of experience. Volume from both is good. Experience, a little bit of technical advantage I give to Haqparast, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I usually take every chance I can to shit on the guy, but that's the pick. Monk, am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy. I'm going to be on the Ribovic side. I don't know. This line seems wide. The DraftKings salaries definitely seem wide, but it might not be. We just don't know. Ribovic could just be that dude. He really, really could. I hope he is, because what an exciting guy. But yeah, Haqparast, very, very interesting. It's like something happened around 2023. I don't know what it would be, but this guy went from throwing 3.75 strikes a minute, 6, 1.8 strikes a minute, 5, 4.27. And then something happened around 2023. Now he lands 11.4 strikes a minute across 15 minutes, 9.2. 9.7 strikes across 15 minutes. This dude went from scoring, let's see here, against Muniz, 72, 69. Those are losses. 78. All of a sudden, 99. All of a sudden, 117 and 90. So, yeah, I'm not going to question it. It's some strange event happened where now all of a sudden he's very, very good, and I'm just going to play some of them at 7,100. This should be an extremely bang-out fight. Haqparast has only landed takedowns in one fight out of his last 10. That was against John Makdessi. Otherwise, he has attempted them, but he's really just trying to break up striking of the other dude for the most part. Not great offense. Wouldn't expect much there. Striking defense from both guys is not great. In fact, Haqparast is better. Actually, it's better than not great. Ribovic gets hit a lot, and I don't know if that's a function of him fighting Zellhuber and taking 100 and some shots in that last one. So we're going to have to see what happens, but he got hit a lot, and I do not like that. So expect a barn burner. Love this fight for GPPs. I think Ribovic, I said, is a good GPP fight, but Hackprest, I think, is good in all formats because of his salary. If he wins this, he's got to be optimal.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, let's move on. We got the co-main event, and you get to break down your boy Cody Brundage first. Cody Brundage. Wow, this line has moved a ton. Holy shit. Okay, Marquez is now a small favorite at -140. Comeback on Brundage is about +120. Your fight ends inside the distance is -400. Great GPP fight as both guys fight like savage idiots. Brundage also turns his head, but will, and looks for ways out of fights.
Yeah.
Marquez is 8,500. Brundage is 7,700. All right, it hasn't moved as much as I thought. It has moved some, though.
He's literally looking at the door.
Yeah. All right, Monk, who you got? Who you taking?
Oh, well, just like my Ricky Simone pick, which did totally pay off last week. This is my basic.
That was, as much as we got shit on last week for some of the picks, that one we crushed.
Yeah, that one we did crush. Absolutely. I mean, I was very pleased with that. But yeah, much like that one, this is the basic bitch pick of the week. Cody Brundage, underdog pick. Look, Marquez, both these guys have decent offense. Yeah, it's sloppy and they haven't fought anyone. Brundage is the only one with any kind of decent takedown offense. Neither guy, well, I'm not going to say that. Brundage has okay defense some of the time, whereas Marquez has no defense all of the time. And that's the main difference here. One of these guys is going to get put to sleep or choked out. Like, first round is likely. I guess this opened at -400. It's got to be even wider than that. We don't really need to go into too much. I mean, Marquez just got knocked out in 20 seconds like 8 months ago. Brundage, we all know about him. When he looks good, he looks really good and scores really well. When he looks bad, it's real bad. So just throw these guys in your GPP lineups. Do not play this in cash ever under any circumstances. And I'm picking Brundage just because, like I said, the complete and utter lack of defense in every statistical category for Marquez is not only frightening, it's almost impressive how bad it is.
To be fair, is Cody Brundage more of a Gregory Rodriguez, Marc-Andre Barrio, Zachary Reese fighter? Is he more of a Sam Alvey, Maki Patolo, Phil Hawes kind of guy?
Sam Alvey's one of one, all right? But I see what you're saying.
Like, the quality competition, who's like, everyone's like, okay, Marquez has lost 3 fights. He fights crazy. Brundage
yeah, but Zach Reese, dude.
I get it.
20 seconds.
Cody Brundage, on the other hand,
hey, you lost to Bo Nickel. You cannot defend the SD Dumas loss ever. I don't know.
This is a loss. Fucking dumbass motherfucker. So bad. And they gotta, and that's the other thing that people jump right to is they go, oh, Cody Brundage beat Zachary Reese. Zachary Reese beat Julian Marquez. Therefore, I have mathed that Cody Brundage is going to win. And Geek does this, and I give him shit for it. And I'm
MMA
like,
math.
It's MMA math, and not that it never works, but that's it.
If it
every
does,
other cliche. Styles make fights, etc., etc., etc. But it is a GPP special. I think Julian Marquez is actually better than Cody Brundage, slightly. I also don't trust Cody Brundage. He is. It's so bad. It's so bad. Technically, Cody Brundage, I'm counting this as a loss, and I'm counting his DQ win as a loss. He's actually lost 6 of his last 7.
It's him and Andrea Lee fighting for their fucking jobs.
Yeah. So you were asking before. All right, he's I'll take Julian Marquez. It is a what? So okay, to get a little serious for a second. GPP all-in fight.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Cody Brundage is going to be super fucking chalk. You know what I want to do to try and win a tournament? I'm going to go to the other fucking side of this high variance fight. I'm probably going to be 70-30 Marquez.
That's so scary, but I get it. It just scares me.
This fight is not on the optimal. I'm not hitting the nuts. All right. So it comes down to how much are you breaking down that 100? You could be, I mean, unless I really don't know how to, then I don't want to bitch and be 50-50. Yeah.
No, you don't.
I hate Cody Brundage. I like Julian Marquez. It's a podcast with a porn star. It's enough for me.
There you go.
Is that podcast still going on?
It can't be, right? There's no shot.
I wonder if he's fucking.
We'll have to Google that on our off time.
Anyway, I'm gonna go to this other monitor here because who the hell knows what's gonna come up when I do Julian Marquez podcast.
Did they know each other? How's that? How did that even? I don't know anything about it.
They are friends.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, Kendra and Julian. Let's see.
Beauty and the Beast.
No, it stopped in 2021.
They didn't even last through COVID.
Kendra Lust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I don't mean that as in, of course I know who that is, but the name is familiar.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
So yeah, I'm not the porn star. The corn star guy, as the kids are calling it now.
I don't fucking just use a word. Why is everybody so afraid of words? You soft.
I don't know. I do find that funny though. That one is funny.
Unless you're gonna get pulled off of stuff, I guess the kids don't say suicide. They say unalive.
Which is weird because I literally see a murder every time I scroll Twitter. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'll just skip because I said those words. But I'm almost 40. I don't understand shit. I guess. Let's move on to the main event. Make some money. Let's talk Manel Kape, Asu Almabayev. Manel Kape minus 222. Almabayev plus 187-ish, depending on the book. I'm just using Bet Online because it's top of the list here. DraftKings salaries. Manel Kape is 9,000. Almabayev is 7,200. Fight goes to decision. 5 rounds is minus 140. If you've been keeping track of the episode, you know that this must be that dog I've been talking about. I am, in fact, on Asu Almabayev. I will be betting him at plus money here. Look, Manel Kape, even if you like Manel Kape, it's really tough to play him on DraftKings, even on 5 rounds. Not a high volume striker, only going to strike, needs a finish. Not really that interested. Takedown defense getting better, as you saw against Makayev, but can still get taken down. Almabayev, good mixing it up. Think he can use some of his wrestling here. I think he's live. I like the wrestling style in general. I do think Kape is going to have trouble with it. I like the number on Almabayev. That's the shot I'm going to take. Even if you don't agree with that breakdown, it's worth noting that Almabayev has more DFS upside, by far. This is not a guaranteed stack in cash games. If you like Kape, go ahead and stack. If you're like me, I'm probably going to go other directions this week. I do think Almabayev is a must-play in cash games for the price and the grappling upside. But I'll be on the dog here. Monk, who you got for the main event of the evening?
I agree. Almabayev, and I was getting worried for a few weeks in a row. I was like, yeah, we can stack this main. Yeah, we can stack this main. I was like, am I becoming the stack every fucking main guy? But now it's been 2 weeks in a row where I really don't think that's viable. So I put myself back in a good position. Look, just like you said, Kape's the striker, has basically no takedown offense. I would be very surprised if we saw that against Almabayev, who is an incredible takedown offense and has fantastic all-around defense. That's the biggest part we're looking at here. So I do not expect Manel Kape, outside of a finish, which I don't expect, to score very, very well at all. Meanwhile, Almabayev, like you said, much higher DraftKings ceiling. He's going to be able to score points in every round with his wrestling. Round 1 stats, this blew my mind. 2.5 significant strikes landed per minute for Almabayev in the first round. Not impressive. 2.5 takedowns landed in the first round on average. 2.5 minutes of control time on average in the first round. He just got 2.5 of everything. I don't know of any other fighter, if I've really seen that ever. Meanwhile, his striking and takedowns go down a little bit, but his control time gets higher and higher. In the third round, it culminates at over 3.5 minutes per third round. So Manel Kape's definitely in for a long, long fight. Like I said, I think Almabayev is the one that's going to be able to score minute by minute, and I hope this does go all 25 because I think he's going to be able to score a ton of points. And at 7,200, I mean, we're looking at almost a definite optimal if he's putting up triple digits. I mean, that's a for sure optimal, right? Manel Kape's going to need like 110 to do that, maybe less, a little less, but I don't think he's going to get there. So give me Almabayev to get the win here. And I think he slows down Kape's striking numbers with his wrestling game.
All right, guys, we broke down all 12 fights. Don't go further yet, though. We got to give you a kill shot. If you're new to the show, a kill shot is an under-owned play that can help you win a GPP. Doesn't have to be a dog. They usually help, though. You know, like Cody Brundage and Julian Marquez cannot be kill shots. They're going to be popular. Something under the radar to help you get that dub. Before we do that, smash the like button, share, please. We've got to break down DraftKings for more people. Grow the channel. Ask any questions in the comments. I'll try and get to them this week. Monk, do you have a kill shot teed up for us?
Kind of. I really don't like them. I feel like I did last week where I was kind of like, I like the ones I can't choose.
You bitch, come on.
I think there's two of them that stand out. I'm not taking a risk on Emil just because Gomes pisses me off so much because he's so defensively sound. It makes me crazy. How about Lucas Almeida, 7,600. Silva can't get it early. Lucas turns up his striking and pulls out a decision. I picked Silva, but like I said, I don't like kill shots this week. I had one other option, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
It's a toss-up. I got a toss-up. I got two. I got Patterson. I got Haqparast.
Haqparast was my other one. Yeah.
I got Haqparast.
And
I want to do the one that's going to piss more people off. Give me the English, the UK wrestler. I'm going to watch the world burn and pick Sam Patterson. Long neck Sam Patterson. Yep. Strangle Danny Barlow. Give me win by.
He'll strangle him with his neck. Just wrap that fucker around and it's over with.
It's probably rear naked choke. But fuck it. Nah, you know what?
Lots of Darces. Anaconda, yeah.
Let's go Anaconda choke.
Like that.
Let's say Danny Barlow makes a mistake trying to get back up. We'll go Anaconda. Regardless, that's what we're going to go for a kill shot. Guys, I already asked you twice. Third time's a charm. Hit the fucking like button. We'll see you next week for UFC 313. Even regardless how many fights there are, we should get a nice little prize pool from DraftKings. So make sure you check it out. Check us out. Link down below in the description. Join us in the DFS Army Discord. For Monk, I'm Sniper. Good luck. Helmets up. We'll see you next time.